hear about the
So
Versus thing has been settled with Trilla, Swizz Beatz, and Timbaland.
I was about to ask you. I was about to say we going to Planet Asia or going to Triller, but we can go to Triller.
I want to go to Trilla, man.
I'm cool with that.
So sounds like they settled their differences per se. I want to go to this article real quick. What were your first thoughts when you saw it? Because you told me about it earlier, and you were like, "We got to talk about this."
I just laughed, Mike. I let out a nice, healthy,
I
hearty
want to pull
laugh.
up the quote though. This is the quote from Swizz. He said,
Oh, buddy.
"Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking for." Said Versus has always been a platform that is by the artist and for the artist and with the people. Swiss Beats and Timbaland said in a statement. Timbaland as well, I'm sorry. We're glad to come to an amicable agreement with Trilla and continue giving the fans the music and community that they've come to know and love from the brand. Versus and Trilla will always be a safe place and an outlet for creators of the arts. Nothing will change that. Well, that's what a Trilla executive said. So it's a platform by the artists and for the artists and with the people. What do you think?
So, Mike.
Oh, let me say it's an undisclosed amount too. We don't know what the
There we
settlement
go.
is.
Okay, so the first,
Yeah.
so hold on.
So we
I
don't know
think you
what
forged.
the yeah
No,
they
I
they were
think you
suing them for
forged.
28
No.
million
You want to
and
know
then
what? No, let's just get right to it. You forged what I felt like was the most poignant question behind the scenes, which was, so how many artists is getting paid back what off this lawsuit? Since Timbaland and Swiss have the right to sue for what exactly?
it
Because
was
I told you, it's like, is
28
this a
million.
creative licensing like lawsuit about like your creative rights? Like, did they put a copyright on the intellectual property of the verses? Is verses their intellectual property and thereby they deserve some sort of residual? Does that residual involve paying the artist? Most notably, Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers.
I feel like
Fuck
the
Swiss and Timberland. What? What'd you say?
I feel like the artists were already paid. None of the artists are complaining about this.
That's probably due to the stream upticks too. You feel like contractually they were given something too.
Oh yeah,
You
because I
feel
did
like
no
they
no no
had to
no.
dance
Let's
with the
be
devil
one.
under the pale moonlight, Mike.
Let's
What the
be
fuck is
real
going
here.
on?
Let's be real here. If these guys were trying to sue Trilla for $28 million, and those artists, even if they got an uptick in fucking streams, which they probably don't get a lot of money from anyway, you think they wouldn't have been like, yo, 28 million? Nigga, I did these verses. Where's my cut? They've already been paid.
Out of that cut, probably.
Out of what cut? T Nitty with the
Exactly.
super chat says M seen what Game did to G Unit. That's true. That is true. Esquire with the
Very
super
true.
chat says I agree with M being overrated, but I don't think that he's afraid of Game at all. Compare what M would gain from winning little to what Game would top 20. I mean, it's
I don't think Game gains
I
anything
don't
though.
either. I don't either. And I don't
What
think
is he gonna
that.
go do 5 mil
But
again
you
because
know,
he
hold
dissed
on,
in? That's not
let me
happening.
answer. Let me answer Esquire's question real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What Eminem would gain from this is to actually beat somebody that could rap. Because we look at his rap resume when it comes to these battles, and like I said, it looks like Everlast. It looks like Cannabis that came home from Iraq that didn't have a record deal. It looks like Fred Durst. It looks like Mariah Carey. It looks like MGK to some, and I think MGK got him, right? It looks like Nick Cannon. So yes, what M would get from this is to have an actual credible body on his resume.
See, this is and yes, and you're right. So this is why resume matters. So let's
LL.
go back. Well, let's go back. No, let's go to boxing again, and let's go back to Floyd. And you were like, a lot of people. I was getting a lot of flack for why I didn't hold Floyd as high, and I'm like, well, who did Floyd fight?
Exactly.
And you're like, well, he fought everybody, and I'm like, no, not really, because here's what I'm saying, and listen to what I'm about to say. Well, people don't talk about Michael Jordan competed with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, even though they played in the NBA together 5 whole seasons. Just like people don't talk about Michael Jordan competed against Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill, even though Shaq and Penny beat him in the playoffs. They only played in the league they actually played in the league with him like 7 or 8 years, Mike. His contemporaries were considered to be Isaiah, Magic, Bird, because when he was at his peak, they were at their peak. And when I'm saying, so Floyd's list has the fighters on it, go check the date and the time of those fighters. Like, oh, well, you got Canelo when Canelo was young Shaq. You got Pacquiao when Pacquiao's Kareem. It's different than Sugar Ray Leonard's resume where it's like, damn, this motherfucker fought every motherfucker in his prime.
Exactly.
Who you want, Camacho, Hagler, Hearns? What you want? Fought everybody. He fought Floyd's dad, if memory serves.
Battle anybody, I don't care who
too, if memory serves.
Listen, man, and Esquire, man, I know you
it
are.
Matters.
Esquire
so when people are like, Floyd's the greatest
of
all time, and I'm like, man, Sugar Ray would whoop Floyd's ass, and people looking at me like I'm crazy. It's like, no, nigga, you crazy. Sugar Ray would whoop Floyd's ass because he's almost as good as defensive fighter. And as far as offensive hands and firepower and punch go, drag. 7-round fight, Mike.
Esquire is
knocking that ass out.
Esquire is a hip hop aficionado, so I know he knows that the quote is "battle anybody, I don't care who you tell." And I know that remember Sauce Money did that interview where he was talking about him, Jay, and I want to say it might have been Jazz, might have been somebody else. This is when LL was huge and they were unknown, and they battled. LL got out of the limousine and battled these unknown MCs in that moment. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that.
Because LL Cool J is hard as hell.
Battle anybody. Esquire with the super chat says Game would gain the notoriety in the annal of hip hop from being associated with the technical monster of on the mic. M has had weak opponents, true, but winning wouldn't raise his standing on all-time combos. I think it would. I think you're underestimating how weak his roster is.
Hold on. How about this? Let me give you another boxing analogy. Who got Lennox Lewis ahead of Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson all time, even though he beat them both?
I do, but I feel you.
You got Lennox Lewis above Mike Tyson?
Lennox Lewis beat everybody.
When did he beat Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, Mike? If he would have fought them 5 years earlier, he wouldn't have lasted 3 rounds with either one.
Possibly. But again, like you said, it matters.
I saw Mike Tyson box in his prime. I saw Evander Holyfield fight in his prime. I saw Lennox Lewis fight in his prime. Like, prime Holyfield would have broke him down worse than he broke down Mike.
Mad Max says, Coop, stop. Floyd beat Pacquiao, and he was older than him. Ain't Sugar Ray make Hagler wait because he was shook then. Said, no rematch. Yeah, old heads revising history.
No what? No rematch hasn't fought him already? Say less. Say less. Say less. Say less, young man.
All right, let's get back to this versus thing because we'll get back on that and be on that forever. This is what I will say, man. I guess, how do I say this? I want to choose my words carefully. This is what I think happened because the first thing I thought when I read this, I was like, okay, you settled with them. What happened to Sony's lawsuit? Those are the people who actually own the publishing for the music. So you could keep the lawsuit out there with Sony, but Versuz continues on? How does that work?
I don't understand what's going on.
So Sony already put the lawsuit out there. Basically, Triller was using their music for Versuz. And so I don't think that the settlement in order, if we're doing things in order, right? Order of importance. I don't think that the settlement would start with Swizz and Tim. I think it would start with Sony because the music is the music.
So can I submit to you what I think happened, maybe?
What do you think?
So Sony said, shut the fuck up. How about that? Sony said, shut the fuck up. That's what I think happened. I think Sony showed up and was like, hey, we're going to get all this settled. Don't appreciate you behaving this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a nice little settlement for everybody to get paid. You guys are going to continue to do this. because you belong to us.
Get back to work.
Oh, hold on. You belong to us and not the other way around. You can go ahead and make it seem like whatever you do for your little hip hop heads and your friends and your homies and your culture. Now get your ass back to work.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah, I think Sony got their money, and like you said, I think Swizz and Tim got put back to work. Because again, for a quote unquote settlement, I don't, and I still struggle with understanding what exactly they own. They own a Instagram page, because they don't own the music. Sony's already made it clear that they're the ones that handle that.
They will make Swizz go get them a caramel macchiato. You understand? Be like, run to the store for me right quick. Get back to work.
Yeah, I guess that undisclosed amount is basically get back to work.
Better watch your tone next time you want to go suing everybody when it's our money anyway. Definitely, if you want to be part of this organization, you're definitely going to watch your tone and get your ass back to work.
Well, I just thought it was I think it's an interesting situation altogether. I'm looking forward to seeing who they're going to put on the stage next, because it seems like the last couple of ones have I think it's kind of over anyway, but it sounds like they're reinvigorated. Maybe Puffy and JD will do it on Versuz, because I know Puffy and JD were talking about doing a Versuz, but not on Triller. And, this has gotten cleared up, so maybe that's the next one.
I just know they need to get their ass back to work, because their bosses apparently are throwing up gang signs in front of everybody. Like, nigga, get back to work. That was cute.
They want their corners back.
Right.
Mitsu's son says, I can't relate to M. My mom and wife, they say, I love my mom, wife, and I don't do pills.
Well,
well,
relatability struggles, possibly.
Relatability is there. Hey, listen, man. I think it was a great thing while it lasted. I think that people really ain't excited about it anymore. We back outside. You know what I'm saying? And somebody said maybe Justin Timberlake. Hey, maybe Justin Timberlake and Justin Bieber can do it.
Hold on, Mike. I want to pause for a second. Country Roads. That's Mo. That's Maurice. Mo from back in the day at Dave & Buster's.
Yo, what up, Mo?
Yeah, that's Mo hollering at us. I post our podcast up sometimes up on their channel, but they're growing out their stuff too. They're really doing a really good job. What's up, Mo? All of y'all out there, follow Country Roads Experience. That's fam. Mo goes back with Mike and us over 20 years too. Mike and his crew is from Mo and his crew is from Columbus. They was getting some airplay back in the day too.
Yo, they was dope, man. Shout out to Mo, man.
Yeah, remember Mo and De Niro? They was nice. Remember Natural High?
Yeah. Shout out to De Niro.
They were getting airplay for Natural High.
They made some dope records, man. We were talking about doing some collaborations and all that back then too.
Same thing over here. Man. I done freestyle with Mo and De Niro plenty of times.
Yeah.
Plenty of times, yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know where Versuz goes from here. But to me, I think that my initial thoughts about the whole matter was that the labels were running this whole Versuz thing in the first place. I think that's still the reality, because in any of these documents or any of these articles, I didn't see Sony's name come up. And let's just be real, nothing moves without the publishing. Because I never really understood what Swizz and Tim actually owned in this situation.
Right. You were the first one to ask this question. It's funny that we're having this show. Like, we're covering so many topics today that we covered when we used to go on Facebook Live and Instagram Live before we jumped on YouTube. This was some of the early topic stuff where I was like, well, Mike, I don't know. I was like, we just know that they don't own the shit.
Well, I understand how, and I think anybody who is on the internet, we're all on the internet, right? We know how synchronization licensing works. You can't go out there and just start playing songs on your platform. Your shit will get muted. You can't do it. You can't do that.
Do you remember when people told us that we were hating because we kept questioning how the music was getting played? And you were like, how are they playing the music? I was like, I don't know. They're part of the mob, though. And by the mob, I mean like Sony, BMG, Interscope, Air. Oh.
Yeah, because if we got on here right now, and this happened to us when we tried to do our first Patreon, because I was thinking that we could run it through whatever. I don't want to get too nerdy on it, but anyway, somehow it ended up being on YouTube. Flags everywhere from everything that we did. You know what I'm saying? And it happens instantly. It don't take a long time. You can't go out there just playing records all willy-nilly on an Instagram page.
You got like 30 seconds, Mike. You got 30 seconds. They're like, there'll be none of that.
The only people that could do that are the people who own the shit. And it is what it is. And that's what publishing ownership is about. And I never understood how they were able to do this. And the artists themselves weren't able to do this with their own music. So, Mike, yeah, the majors were behind it the whole time.
Our holiday party, Mike.
Wizard of Oz type stuff.
Our holiday party, Mike. For According to Hip Hop, I posted it. Benzo Abima was playing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
They took it down, and I had to repost and hashtag, I do not hold the rights to this music to get it to play. I did.
Yeah. You can't even go to and I know for the people who might still be on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you can't even go to the club or party and, get some video footage and post it because your joint's going to get flagged from the publishers. And that's just like background music. That's not even you playing the music. Born King with the super chat says, can A2HH please do an album review for Medallions and Monarchy by Planet Asia?
But we're actually about to review Planet Asia's last album. It just came out the other week. So,
But yeah, man. So I'll be interested to see where things go.